Hey, welcome back to On the Porch. I'm Todd, and as always, joined by my good friend Ken, here to talk about whatever, except tonight, I think we're going to focus on mining asteroids. Is it worth the expense? What's the best way to attach ourselves to an asteroid? And is it possible to actually catch one and bring it to Earth? Ken has worked out all the algorithms and calculus on all that for us, and I believe he has a very interesting whiteboard presentation for us. Take it away, Ken.
Okay. All right, man. You're gonna just come back in a couple hours, buddy. No, it's gonna take me that long. It's gonna take me that long to get figured out anyway.
Yeah, but we do have something new to announce. And when I mean new, I mean like within the past 2 minutes new. I was going through some stuff here on the computer with Ken, and you can now, if you would like to, send us a text message. All you have to do, if you're listening on a podcast platform, if you're here on YouTube, it's not going to quite work. But if you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify, or I guess it's probably being YouTube podcast. YouTube got rid of their Google got rid of their podcast app, and they integrated it with like YouTube Music, and it's so confusing. I wish they would figure it out, because there's just so much different stuff it's pulling from. But if you're listening on Apple or Spotify or something like that, in the description and right at the top, it says send us a text. And you just click it and tell us what you think, good, bad, or indifferent. But we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, so, brand new development.
Yeah, brand new development. Like I said, within the past few minutes, I was just clacking around on the computer and saw it was an option to do, and I said, "Heck yeah, just turn it on. You know, it's free. It was free to do, so why not?"
They have all kinds of good stuff on there.
Yeah, they do. They do. Well, Ken, how was your week?
Man, I had a good week. I don't have too many bad weeks these days, but raining a lot here, so did a lot of indoor stuff and watching movies, and I don't know, sowed some grass. I did sow some grass. It was a good time to do that. But other than that, man, we were supposed to go to today. We were planning on going to the Cornbread Festival. It's in Smithville, Tennessee. And that's not the big one. The great big Cornbread Festival is in right outside of Chattanooga.
Right.
And never have made it to that one, because that one's always earlier in the year than you think it is.
Yeah.
By the time you start thinking about it, the weather breaks a little bit. It's like it's already happened. I've never been to that one.
Yeah.
But this one's runner up. It's a good one up there. Have a lot of bluegrass music, but we didn't get to go because it was just raining, and didn't want to get out and walk around in the rain.
Right. As long as they prepare cornbread properly, that's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Not sweet. Yeah. We don't want that sweet corn. That's corn muffins.
No, that's corn muffins. Yeah. I saw a thing on America's Test Kitchen the other day where they were talking about cornbread and making cornbread, and how Southerners, they don't put sugar in their cornbread. They may put a pinch in there, but you can't taste it. It's just to kind of smooth things out a little bit.
Yeah. Sharp cheddar and jalapenos go good in cornbread.
Boy, they do, man.
Yeah.
Even put some corn in there.
Yep. My grandpa used to put cornbread in the bottom of a glass and then pour buttermilk over the top of it and drink it.
Oh, yeah.
And then spoon out the cornbread after that. But I'm not the biggest buttermilk fan, so I never really tried it. But maybe I should, since I'm older now.
Yeah, man, I think I told you that story before, but whenever I was younger, I'd go to West Tennessee, spend the summer with my grandparents out in the country. And that was my grandfather too. He cornbread and buttermilk, and they would eat it like a dessert kind of.
Yeah.
And we used to sit in there at the kitchen table, and it was actually the table was actually in their kitchen. It wasn't like a dining room table; it was a kitchen table, and had an old wooden radio. I forget the brand name of it, but we listened to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh,
because they're in West Tennessee. That's the closest team is the Cardinals, and everybody in West Tennessee is Cardinals fans.
Yeah.
But I remember him sitting there eating that cornbread and buttermilk, man, just like it was ice cream, dude.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't have any teeth. He was smacking it. Those lips popping, man. It was funny.
That might be something I just need to try. Just since, like I said, since I gotten older and tastes change and things, that maybe I would enjoy it now. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Because I'm sure at some point when you were younger, I don't know if you like sauerkraut now, but I'm sure when you
No,
were young, you didn't like sauerkraut.
no, I didn't, and I still don't. So,
No? Okay.
yeah, I tell everybody that my other grandfather fought bravely in World War II, so I didn't have to eat sauerkraut. So,
Yeah.
uh, and but yeah, I was telling someone a story the other day. Um, a lot of times, like when Holly fixes supper or something, and Taylor, our
Hmm.
youngest, doesn't like it, we'll like find something quick and easy to fix her. You know, like she likes those Dinty Moore beef stew things, so we'll just like throw that in the microwave for her and stuff.
Hmm.
And I was telling, and somebody else was saying that they do that for their kids, and they're like, "My mom would never do that for us," and I'm like, "Mine either." It's like you're either eating what we have or you don't, and it's like this is true. My mom and dad loved kraut and wieners.
Hmm.
I hated kraut. I couldn't even get my mom to leave a couple hot dogs out of the kraut for me for supper.
Oh,
I'm
really?
like, just just leave like two out. And she, nope, not fixing two dinners. It's like, you're not, just leave them. So I'd have to like choke
Mm.
down a hot dog that's just like full of
Yeah.
kraut juice,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. See, that's old school there.
yeah,
That's the way it used to be, man.
yeah,
Well, I never knew what we were having for supper till we got called to supper. It was ready. And you go in there
yeah,
and sit down and like, this is what we're having.
yeah,
You
yeah,
didn't say anything bad about it. You just ate
yeah.
whatever
You
they
just,
had,
you just eat what you didn't like the most first,
Right.
I
Right.
heard I heard a guy talking one time. He went to Japan and was invited to uh, a family's house for supper,
Mm.
and they had authentic Japanese food. And there's one dish there. I'm not sure what it was, but he knew that he didn't like it, but he didn't want to be rude, so he did the American thing of eat that first just to get it out of the way. And he said before he could look down, he had another spoon on his plate of it
No.
because I guess in Japan, what you eat first is the thing you like the best.
Oh my word. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
So probably it wasn't bugs, was it? No,
I
that's
don't
China.
no, I don't think it was bugs. I think that might be more of a African kind of thing.
Mm.
I don't know. I guess other places eat bugs, but I don't remember what it was exactly. But
Yeah.
because the authentic foods are always so different than the American restaurant versions of those foods. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Well, man, we're talking about food, dude. We there there's a like a food truck, but it's a trailer up here. But it's just
uh huh,
apple cider donuts, like you would see at a carnival or something,
uh huh,
or at a fair. But they just set up permanent residents up here. That's
yeah,
all they sell is apple cider donuts and Tim Hortons coffee. That's it.
yeah.
And man, it's
Well,
awesome, dude. You just swing in there and get you half a dozen of those apple cider donuts. I don't have to wait till fall to get
yeah,
apple cider donuts, but
yeah,
they're really good.
yeah.
They're so good.
For anybody watching the video, noticing me blink, um,
What's going on, man?
man, the cottonwood trees around here make it look like snow. It's the fuzzing is so bad, and cottonwood has makes my eyes burn, and it'll clear up here in a second. So if you see me blinking or rubbing my eyes, just excuse me because it's these seasonal allergies, and the cottonwood trees are absolutely destroy my eyes. So
Mm,
I apologize
yeah,
for any funny looks I make, and I guess if I make a funny enough one, I'll be a meme or something
yeah,
along the way. But man, it's like snow. You driving through certain areas, and the fuzz is so thick, it's like snow falling.
yeah. Mm,
And if you live in that area, clean out your air conditioners because that they will chew them to pieces. Keep them. Go out and spray that air conditioner off so you
mm.
don't ruin it any quicker than it.
We hadn't had cottonwood pollen. We've had
Yeah,
M pollen. It's been
yeah,
terrible, man, but it's starting to ease off a little bit now.
yeah. I don't know if our allergy season's ever over around here. It's just always something. So it's been extra wet, this spring than it has normally had. I don't want to say normally, but then what it has been past couple of years, it seems like. And It just kind of makes everything exponentially worse. But Ken, I texted you this week saying I had a question to ask you, but I wanted to wait till the podcast, and I'm going to ask you about it, and see if you know anything about it, and I watch a lot of YouTube, and then I get a lot of suggestions, and one of the things I like in YouTube is like people that go to garage sales and estate sales. It's like, because I like to go to that stuff, and then I like to watch people go to that stuff because not only see what they find, but a lot of times they leave stuff behind, and I'm like yelling at the screen, like, look at that, but
right.
So in the recommendations, I guess it kind of, YouTube kind of thought I was kind of like a treasure hunter, I guess. And it suggested this video, and I watched it, and I'm like, I need to start doing that. And it's magnet fishing.
Oh, off of bridges? Yeah.
Well, off of bridges or just off the shorelines. I've seen people out on boats doing it. Yeah. Have you ever magnet fished or heard of it?
Man, I have not, but I've certainly heard of it. I know there's people do it, man. They find all kinds. The only ones I've seen has been at bridges.
Yeah.
And man, they find all kinds of stuff, guns and pistols and
they do
all that kind of stuff.
There's one guy that goes, I think he's Australian, but he goes to like Denmark and places in Europe. They find like old cannonballs and found this old like broadsword, and when they find stuff like the old broadsword, some of it makes me think there's a guy in there with like scuba gear on, right. But there was one guy in Arizona that went to this place where it's like real popular for people to go like jump off the cliffs into this lake or whatever. And so he was doing it there, and he found, of course, a bunch of earrings and an Apple Watch, and the Apple Watch was still working because I guess it fell off like the day before, and he was able to get it returned to the owner and stuff, which was really cool. And so I went down this rabbit hole of getting interested in magnet fishing, and I looked, of course, you know me, once I get I'm like an old hound dog. Once I get my sights set on something, I just track it down till I can know everything about it. Guess how much it is to get into magnet fishing? To buy a magnet and a rope to do it.
$45.
Well, I wish. $100. So
what's $100? A magnet?
The magnet and the rope. So, and it's like a 350-pound magnet. Which I don't know.
350 pounds.
Well, that's not how much it weighs. I guess that's how much pulling power it has.
Okay.
Where
do you buy said magnet?
I forgot the name of the place. It was a link in one of the videos. I'd have to look it up, but and I forgot how much rope it came with, like 80 feet of rope or something. And I was like, that's not bad. I mean, you could spend more and get a 800-pound magnet, which I assume that has something to do with the pulling force. Haven't got that far into it yet, but
how you gonna get it up, man? If you get something that weighs 300 pounds.
Have you not seen my guns on the side of my body here?
Well, no, man, I hadn't been paying much attention. I don't pay much attention to stuff like that.
I was watching this one guy do it off the side of a bridge, and it was like a long way down. It had to be like a 60-foot drop. Then plus whatever he goes into the water, he had to be using 200 feet of line, and and stuff. And it's like he was wearing out, and I'm like, if that was me, I would have a winch on the side of my truck, just because I'm just that lazy. Hey, we got John from Coffee Talk and Tech here. Hey, John, thanks for hopping in. Yeah, magnet. Yep, magnet for a river. That's what we're talking about. We just YouTube gave me that suggestion, and it's like something that I would really consider doing around here because a lot of history in this area, and a lot of people get in the water to do things, and I just don't see a lot of people doing it here. So might be some interesting finds. So
man, the Mississippi is right there by your house. When it was down real low, was people out there just running up and down the banks looking for stuff?
I don't know if they were. I was when I could.
Did you find anything good?
No, I found a lot of trash, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, but it's I even thought about going to the Mississippi to do it, but the river's so strong that if I got
Mm.
something fairly heavy, it might pull me, it might pull me in or pull the whole
Yeah.
thing in.
Lose your magnet. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to let the magnet go and stuff. But there's plenty of other little rivers and lakes and ponds around here, and
Mm-hmm.
so we're coming out in August. Don't be surprised if I got a magnet
All
for
right.
your
Well,
little lake behind your house.
dude. There's some rivers right around here. We could
Yeah,
go check out.
yeah,
See if we can find
yeah,
something.
yeah. So, yeah. What does John say here? He's like, a bunch of videos on that. You never know what's going to be it. No, you never know. And it's a lot better than the people that stick their arms in the holes to pull out catfish.
Yeah.
know?
Man, that's something right there. I've never had the nerve to try
Yeah.
that.
No, me neither. Me neither. So, but yeah. So now just, of course, I want to bypass the $100 magnet set and go to the next more powerful magnet set.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Just go ahead and get one that you got to have a pulley and a F-250 to pull everything up, just in
yeah,
case.
yeah. I'll get.
You find
Well,
something.
yeah. I could get. I could modify. Those cranes that they put on the back of a truck for people's like little rascals and stuff. I can modify one
Oh
of
yeah.
those. That way, I could just lower the crane down, and I wouldn't have to do any work.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But I like to have do you have a metal detector?
We do. I got a free one actually, and it works. And we were testing it out in the backyard, and I'm back there, like, man, this thing's going off like crazy, And I'm digging and digging. And I'm like, can't find nothing. I don't know how far to dig, and I don't want to dig too far. And going off like crazy. I'm like, this backyard's loaded with stuff. And then I realized that's where the cast iron sewer pipe runs.
Right.
So
All kinds of stuff in there.
yeah. So I just was like, maybe we don't have that much, but I don't know how to like set it up to. It's not a real expensive one by any means, so I don't know
Yeah.
if it can be set up to like ignore certain metals or what. I've watched some of the metal detecting guys since I watched the magnet fishing. They started sending me metal detecting people, and that's really involved because you got to know the frequencies and the beeps and the what you're looking for, and then it lets you know about like how far deep and stuff it is. But I like that stuff too. So
Yeah. I mean, there's some good places around here to go metal detection.
yeah,
And there's like some old road beds. I have a friend has a small farm, but they have a road bed. It's where the main road used to run right beside his property. Because you can still see, like an old road bed. If you're seeing them, how they'll be wore out, they'll be sunk down, way below the property on the sides of the road.
right.
And man, I don't think anybody's ever, as far as I know, been back in there metal detection. There's no telling what you would find on that road.
Yeah,
But it's just really old.
yeah. That's the thing is just find those old places that people just don't think about, and hit them because it just
Well, a lot
never
of
know
people
what's
probably
been
don't
back
know.
there.
Yeah, a lot of people probably don't know about that because it's actually on his property. His property's on the other side of the road,
Yeah,
so that road's actually on his property.
yeah, yeah. John is saying that he says the better ones always give you less false positives. They do it he lives up in the New Jersey area, so they go to the
Okay.
beach and do it and
Right.
and stuff. So, but yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah,
Beach.
yeah. John's a guy I met through doing YouTube and stuff, and his channel Coffee Talking Tech. He does a lot of tech reviews and tech how tos and stuff, and he's helped me out quite a bit doing Christmas clatter and things. And Ken, to be honest with you, a lot of stuff I told you I learned from John.
Yeah. Well, I need to go watch it, man.
Yeah,
I
you
need to
do.
go watch it.
Yeah, you do. He's a good guy, and glad he's able to hop in here. But
Yeah, John, thanks for checking us out, man.
yeah,
Todd has helped me so much, so I guess thank you, buddy, for
yeah,
for
yeah,
for teaching Todd because I knew nothing about
yeah,
any of this before I started.
yeah. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's always nice to have someone that knows what they're doing to ask. So
Yeah. Oh yeah, just even simple stuff like that dongle.
Yeah.
I said, hey man, which one? So I've learned now, instead of me getting the wrong one first and then
Eh,
asking Todd
yeah.
and then having to order the right one, then I just
I even
I
found you
look
one.
I look, but before I pull the trigger, I shoot him a text. Hey man,
Yeah.
how about this?
Yeah. I even found you a little bit of a deal on one. So
Yeah, sure
yeah,
did.
$10 off. So,
That was good. Man's talking about a deal, man. Look here, I got to show you something
alrighty.
because I know you're a puzzle guy, right?
Uh-huh.
And I'm not,
Oh,
right?
thanks,
I'm
John.
not. Yeah, thanks, John. Um, we got that Christmas puzzle a couple years ago to work a
Yep.
couple days before Christmas,
Uh,
and we were just in an all-out panic because we were determined to get that done before
uh,
Santa Claus came,
right.
and it was stressful. So that's when I learned, man, I'm not very good at working puzzles. I need to start back at the beginning. So I went to Hobby Lobby, and look here, man.
Oh, yeah. That's a
You see
great
that?
one. Uh-huh.
See it?
Yep.
Yeah, it might be too close. There you go.
Yep.
Look how
300
many
pieces.
pieces, man.
Uh-huh.
300 pieces, brother. no
Yep.
more, no more 1,000 or 3,000.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna
Yeah.
start with this one. The pieces are bigger, and I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that pattern on there is actually good because it's with the different color film strip backgrounds. It
Oh
almost
yeah,
makes it like a bunch of little mini puzzles,
there you go.
because then you can
Hmm.
sort by color and then so you're not thinking of the whole puzzle as one big piece. You're like,
Right.
okay, I'm going to do the pink or the blue, and then
Mhm.
so you can find all the blues and gather them up and then start piecing it together from there. So
Well, yeah.
anything that's has a grid like that um, is always a little bit easier to start with because you can follow those colors, you know,
Hmm.
and
And it has a poster inside.
oh, you always got to get one with puzzle
The,
inside. What brand is
the
that?
uh,
Aquarius?
no, it's
No.
something Rose Art.
Oh, Rose Art. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, yeah,
That'd be a
Rose
good one.
Art. Yeah, so I'm gonna start with that one and kind of work on my technique, man.
Yeah,
Like you said,
yeah,
separating the stuff, and maybe I can work up for the people that's just listening and not watching that. That's a puzzle, a Peanuts puzzle, just Snoopy, and it looks like
yeah,
in the background it looked like little film clips of it, like
yeah,
strips of film, and each strip there's one, two, three, four. There's 5 strips on there, and each one is different color. It has Snoopy on the film strips.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what it's
That'd
that's
be a
what he's
fun one.
talking about.
That'd be a
Yeah,
fun one.
you can do
Yeah.
that in about 10 minutes, couldn't you?
No, not 10. Well,
I
300,
bet you.
not
I
10
bet you could do it
minutes.
in an hour. I bet you could do it in an hour.
Yeah, I could probably do it in an hour. 300 pieces. Yeah, that's something else I watched before was competitive puzzling. That was kind of crazy.
What?
Yeah, I guess Ravensburg Puzzles puts it on world competitions, and what they'll
Mm-hmm.
do is you don't know which puzzle you're going to get, but one of the competitions is they give you it's like this package and you can't see through it, what it is, and then
Mm-hmm.
once everybody gets it, you go and you rip it open and it's a brand new puzzle. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it's maybe not a new puzzle for Ravensburg, but it's not an open puzzle. And then, and I think they're usually 500 pieces on one of them. Then I think they might do 1,000 piece one, and then whoever can put it together the fastest,
Mm-hmm.
And this one guy, I think he's from Argentina. He's like the fastest. He like put together a 500 piece puzzle in like, I want to say it's either 20. I think it was 34 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just
He was
crazy.
getting after it, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what they do is they'll like go buy like Ravensburg puzzles and practice them. And sometimes they'll buy the one that they actually get to put together because they don't know what it's going to be,
Mm-hmm.
and they like have pairs that they do it and some other things. And it's crazy. So,
Wow. I never even heard of that competitive
yeah.
puzzling.
Yeah. But, it's
Well,
like they say, you
that's
can
all.
race anything. So,
Yeah. Well, that's what we were doing at my house
Yeah.
because it was me and my wife and my son and his girlfriend.
Yeah.
We had this little card table,
Yeah.
and it was sitting right in the middle of the room in front of the fireplace and the Christmas tree and
Uh-huh.
all that. And we were
Yeah.
like, we were determined to get that thing done. So it got to where it was stressful, man. We were like
Yeah.
changing sides every 10 minutes, and I don't know.
Yeah. Well, here's what you do when you get ready to start that one, okay? Turn off the TV. Get you a nice cup of that chicory coffee you like.
Mm-hmm.
And turn on a little Vince Guaraldi. And take a big sip and go, and then start,
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what you need to do instead of trying to stress it out.
Yeah. This one, we put another table out on our deck. Do you remember that big wooden one table that we did the podcast from last year when you was here?
Yeah.
We have another one just exactly like it we put up there. So that's going to be our puzzling table, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good. It's always nice to have a dedicated puzzle table.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice one.
Because we don't, we do, but we use it in the dining room, and sometimes there's too much traffic in there and pieces get knocked off and things. So, but
sometimes pieces fall in the sweater pocket, huh?
Sweater pockets, yeah. So I didn't bring it down here to show anybody, but it's Christmas related. But I was pretty happy. We went to an estate sale on Wednesday. It started on Wednesday, like at 4 PM, and I found this little. It's probably like a 4 or 5 inch, maybe 6 inch plush of baby Kermit and baby Miss Piggy from the Muppet Babies, and it's from 1988. And they're dressed Christmassy, and it's old McDonald's toys. And
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and I don't
remember
either.
the McDonald's toys, but I don't remember.
Yeah,
that
but they're big.
one.
They're not like little plastic pieces of junk like they normally are. They're like actual, about the size of a softball, maybe a little bit bigger.
Okay.
And they were like in super clean condition.
Yeah.
So I picked those up because it's like, when am I going to see these guys again? 'Cause I love the Muppets and stuff like that, especially Muppet Babies. So.
Yeah, I don't know about the Muppet Babies, but I'm a Muppet fan. We, when we went to that puppet museum, last Christmas, we had all the Muppets in there. Jim Henson, that was great.
Oh yeah, that was great. Yeah, the Muppet Babies were part of my Saturday morning ritual when I was a kid.
Oh, were they?
It was honestly like, even watching like old reruns of it, which you don't get to see anymore, it's like one of the best written cartoons as far as, the stories and stuff. It was just head and shoulders better than anything else. Even as a kid, boy that's probably was too old to be watching something called Muppet Babies because I was wanting to watch Transformers and G.I. Joe and He-Man and all this stuff. People sword fighting. Muppet Babies was so entertaining. I had to watch it,
Yeah.
So, but
well, man, changing the subject just a second, dude. Last week or the week before, we didn't have a podcast last week because of Mother's Day,
right?
But week before, we talked about Randy Travis has a new song out.
Yep.
And dude, he's going on tour.
Really?
He's got 10 shows, and the guy that helped him to do his new song is James Dupree. He's a Canadian country singer, and he was on the list of the Rolling Stones for new artists that you need to watch. So he was on that list. But anyway, he's touring with them, and he's actually doing the singing. But it has Randy Travis's original band is there, and Randy will be there too. He'll be out there with him. But it's James Dupree. He has the same range as Randy. Deep tone, and sounds a lot like him, or sort of like him. Not really, but he's in that vein. That's the reason that AI worked.
Yeah, I listened to that song a couple times. It was really good. I really liked it.
It was good to hear that again, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Hear that voice.
Now,
But
if
man,
you
you got to
listen,
go, dude.
yeah, if
Uh, he's
you know,
gonna be in. He's gonna be in Nashville June 5th, and then he's going to Texas, a couple places. Um, and I think he's going to. It's Kansas City. See
it's
where
closer to go to Nashville for me than it is Kansas City.
okay, and there was another place out there close
St.
to you. He was
St. Louis, Memphis,
no,
Springfield, Missouri.
no, I can't remember now. But he's all over. He's doing 10 stops. He's coming
Yeah,
back to Nashville again, then going up north, and then coming back south.
yeah. I'll
But
be
he's
off
going to
June
be
5th.
yeah. Well, that's in Nashville,
Yeah.
June
No, that,
5th.
yeah, Nashville's only 4 hours. That's easy drive. So,
He's playing at the Ryman, which is the best place in Nashville
oh yeah, I'd love to
to
go
go
there.
see a show.
I've never been there. I need to see something there. Anybody there?
Man, we need to. If you've never been there, we need to pick out somebody and see when they're going to be there, or look and see what their schedule is, and shoot, I'll take you there.
Yeah.
I'll meet you in Nashville, and I know my way around. Lived there 60 years.
Ah,
So,
yeah. I'm game. I'm not picky about who we see either.
yeah, because the Ryman is it's just there's not a bad seat.
Uh-huh.
The only thing bad about the Ryman is they have all the bench pews up top and down at the bottom, and there's a little metal tag on the back of the seat, tells you the number of your seat.
Uh-huh.
And people are much bigger now than they were back when they whenever they built the Ryman. So
Yeah.
so if it's sold out, man, you are packed in there like sardines.
Yeah.
There's some people that just buy, like for 2 people, they'll go ahead and buy 3 seats
Right.
just to give themselves room.
Yeah. I understand that. Yeah, that'd be something I definitely want to look at. I actually got some vacation coming up. That's why I'm going to be off that week. And I decided to take off, try to get my garage done, organized, because kind of, not that I'm tired of doing it, but it's like I really want to build something, but I really can't build anything till I get situated,
Yeah.
so.
Man, that organizer, Todd built an organizer for all his tools. I mean, you'll have to explain it, but it's pretty amazing, man. I was jealous.
Yeah.
Had all your stuff where you could find it and see it, and
Yeah. Well, I built some shelves to put some of my saws in, like in my, like my oscillating tool and my jigsaw and circ saw and my brad kneeler. And then I had done that, and I had hung up all those little small parts compartment things. And then under my cabinets and above my workbench, I was thinking about what to put there. I was kicking around the idea of like building a French cleat system or pegboard, which I wasn't that excited about pegboard because of the problems it has with the pegs getting loose and falling off and that stuff.
yeah.
And so what I decided to do was kind of I guess a less module French cleat, because I was watching people build the French cleat systems, and they're all like, yeah, you can put stuff in different areas, but a lot of people are like, once I put something somewhere, it just kind of stays. And so instead of going to all that work, what I did was just hung up a sheet of 3/4 inch plywood on the wall, and then made the tool holders and just screwed them straight into that.
Straight in that.
And
That works.
And then it's like, there's a lot of wood around here. So then I just, I went and grabbed some black paint and black spray paint, and then a can of black paint. And I took everything down and painted it all black and put it back up. And, it's like for my screwdrivers, I just took some scraps and drilled some holes through them. And so they stand up in there, and then made some like little holders for my squares, and I got one I did the other day. I didn't send to you. It was one for my hammer, and then I got some of those 18-inch long magnets you can mount on the wall, just so metal stuff can stick to them. And I got a couple more of those. So I'm about done. I need to get a pencil holder of some kind, so I can keep my pencils there, easy to reach. But other than that, I'm about done.
It's nice, but doesn't it spin around? Like,
No.
Is that the thing that spins?
No. That the thing that spins is I had two toolboxes, two small toolboxes, a red Craftsman and a black Stanley one, and the Red Craftsman was 28 inches wide. And I don't know what the Stanley one was, but it was smaller, so I didn't measure it. So it was taking up 28 inches of wall space, and then whatever the Stanley one was, which it's probably 25 or so inches wide. So, total, that's what, 52, 53 inches of wall space. So what I did was I built a cart and put those toolboxes and put it on wheels and put those toolboxes back to back. That way I can push them against the wall with their side on the wall and then pull them out when I need them. And that only took up 30 total inches. So I saved all that wall space doing that. And and I put handles on both sides so that way I could pull it, spin it around, and move it off to the side. And those two toolboxes, I don't use a lot. A lot of stuff that goes in there is stuff I don't need regularly, so having them a little bit more, I don't know, difficult ain't the right word, but having them where I have to really go get them to access them instead of right there at my hand isn't that big a deal. Yeah. So I like my plumbing tools and stuff like that I just use when I doing that. They can just stay in there because I won't touch them for a year at a time or something. So.
Man, I sure miss having a garage, dude. Because we moved up here on the lake and we don't have a garage, and so I got rid of all of my tools, but I got 2 or 3 tool bags, and then in storage I've got some containers that has some hand tools in it. I don't use them much anymore. Because I used to. I remodeled like 3 or 4 houses as we was over the years. And this house here's newer, and I only need basic tools, and I keep those pretty handy. Just saws and small hand tools. Tool bags. But I do miss having a garage, though.
Yeah, I understand that. My plan is to build another cart like the one I did for the toolboxes, but on one side have maybe some pretty nice like metal pegboard for like paintbrushes and stuff like that. And then also have some storage for sandpaper and anything that has to do with finishing, like finishing the project. And then flip it around to the other side and have shelves made for, buckets of paint and spray paint cans and stuff like that. Kind of like a finishing cart. So anytime you're finishing a project, you can just grab that and pull it to wherever you're at. And, your stuff's there. So.
Well, man, you were talking about the pegboard and the little hooks coming off. They make these little plastic clips. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, I looked into those, and some look like they're better than others. The thing with the pegboard, it was like to get the pegboard that really looked like it was going to stay in place. It's spend more money than I was really wanting to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really considered it, and I really like this idea because, like I said, just screw it in the wall. If I want to move it, I'll just unscrew it and screw it someplace else, and take a little paper towel to the black paint can and dab it on there to hide the screw hole. So
yeah.
But
well, man, have y'all had any of those cicadas?
I haven't seen any yet. So,
man, let me tell you what. I had some work done on my truck this past week. The air conditioner, I just had them go through it, hoses, everything. Anything that needed to be replaced, just maintenance work. And so I went to Cookville the day after I got it back. And I was going down Monterey Mountain, which is I-40 down to Cookville. It's 7 miles.
Right.
Going down, or if you're coming to Jamestown, it's going uphill. But I was going down, I was about halfway down that mountain, and I heard something humming. And I'm like, man, my darn truck's making the noise. And so I turned the radio, I listened to a podcast actually, and I turned that down and listened. And I said, well, I still hear it. So I turned the air conditioner off, and it was even louder. I'm like, what in the world is that? I thought it was like the transmission or something whining. And I rolled the window down, and going down the interstate, dude, it was those cicadas. They were so loud.
Oh my goodness.
Going down the interstate, I could hear them with my windows up, over the air conditioner, and over the podcast.
Yeah.
Loud enough where I thought there was something wrong with my truck.
Yeah, we're having a plague of them. You
Yeah.
know, like I said, like 1 trillion this year, double brood. So,
Mm. But up
but
here, man, we've only heard one. We've heard
yeah,
one, just a wah, and that was about it. That's all we heard.
just that one.
And that was at night. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
got to get ready for them because
yeah. I know our
they'll be here, I'm sure.
our snakes are bad this year.
Are they?
So I've killed 3 in our yard this year already,
Hmm.
and that's like more than I've killed the past 4 years combined.
What kind was it? Why'd you
Just
kill it?
those garter snakes because they scare me.
Don't kill those, man. They're the ones that eats the mice and everything else.
Yeah. Well, these weren't big enough to eat the mice. They're little babies.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Yeah, what?
But
I was kind of that way, to be honest, before we moved up here.
uh
But the 2 or 3 years I've been up here, man, there's so many snakes that I can spot a copperhead's a big thing up here. And
uh
there's rattlesnakes, there's timber rattlers too, but the big thing is copperheads, man. They're everywhere. My wife, dude. We were going through Jamestown, and you turn off the main 127 on the and go into Jamestown Main Street. It's kind of there's a little stretch where there's really nothing there before you get to the town.
huh.
And she was driving and was going down through there, and I didn't even see it. I was looking at my phone or something, and she jerked real hard, and she said, "Copperhead," and she ran over it, man. It's like, how could she tell it was a copperhead from like, 40 yards away, man,
Yeah.
And she ran right over it, but she could see it. But I've learned copperheads, man, there's a water snake up here, and I don't know if there's this particular water snake is other places. It probably is. But it's the exact same color as a copperhead. Exactly. This has a lighter brown and a darker brown in the same shape
Huh.
on the copperhead is the copperhead, but the shape on a copperhead is like kind of like a triangle,
Yeah.
like a Hershey's kiss.
Yeah.
So if you see, but then the stripe then goes over the top of the back, and it's the same design on the other side of the snake. So it's like a Hershey's kiss. If you look at the side of it, it's how you can tell from a distance. If it looks
Yeah.
like if it's a Hershey's kiss, copperhead. But the water snake it looks just like it, except it's inverted.
Huh.
It's like an upside down Hershey's kiss. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. Well, I hope I
And
get close enough to be able to pay attention.
well, if you're out here swimming, there's one that swims from our dock over to our neighbors across the
Yeah.
cove, swims back and forth all the time, but it's a water snake,
Yeah.
you know. And the copperheads, if they're in the water, when they're in the water, you can tell, man, because they like sit up on top of the water.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like they're levitating, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. We have copperheads around here, pretty bad. And if you get out more rural areas, you'll find rattlesnakes and stuff. But I remember years ago we had like this torrential downpour rain.
Mm-hmm.
It was like literally it was like one day we got our annual average of rainfall.
Really?
It was just
My goodness.
flooding everywhere and stuff. And uh, my mom gets a call from my sister, and their basement was flooding, and they were needing help keeping it bucketed out.
Mm-hmm.
And so we hopped in my mom's car and went over there, and the streets, it was like an infestation of snakes because
Was it
they were all
really?
getting all flooded out of their holes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I bet, dude, when I say hundreds, I literally mean we saw hundreds of snakes in the
Oh my goodness.
half a mile we had to drive. It was crazy. And my mom she hates them and is definitely, she don't even like to look at pictures of them or to see like fuzzy ones or even like snake skin boots or whatever. She don't like any of that stuff. And it was crazy because, like I
Yeah.
said, they just got flooded out of their holes and their nests and all that stuff, and they were getting up on the streets where it was drier, And but man, ooh, it was wild.
Yeah, I don't like snakes.
Yeah,
But I'm learning up here we have one that stays in our yard. I think it's a king snake or
yeah,
a black snake. I don't know, one of the two. But it's huge.
Yeah.
I
Black
mean,
snakes get big. Yeah.
he's like 5 foot long,
Yeah.
5 foot long.
Aren't king snakes like the multicolored ones, like the red, yellow,
If
black?
it is, then this isn't a king snake. This may just be just a black snake or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
I think the king snake and the coral snake, I think, are similar, except the king snake's not poisonous, or is it coral? I can't remember.
Yeah,
I
the
know it's
coral
like,
snake. I just know black next to yellow
yeah,
feller,
yeah, yeah,
like it was black, yellow,
yeah.
and then red.
That's all I know to look out for, So, but yeah, the black snakes get in trees too. They're real good at that.
Yeah.
So, and they will get monstrously big. So, do you have blue racers up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, those things.
Sure do.
They'll chase you.
Well, I'll say we do up here. I don't know. I hadn't seen one here. I know we did in Nashville.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
They're always in pairs. They're always in pairs, and they will chase you. To kind of scare you. I remember as a teenager, me and a friend of mine, Paul, were like walking through some woods close to my mom and dad's house, and we had our BB guns, and stuff. And he was walking ahead of me, and he like froze with one foot up in the air, and he's like, "Todd, I can't move." And I'm like, "What's the matter?" And he was about ready to step on a blue racer. It was like right under his foot, and it was frozen, and he was frozen. So I was like, "You want me to shoot at my BB gun?" He's like, "No, you might hit me," because they were the cheap ones that weren't, that accurate. So he tried to shoot it, but he ended up missing, which scared it off, which got the one that was close to it running off too, which that scared us, seeing another snake moving across there, And so we were like, all like, had the heebie-jeebies, and so we was walking along a few minutes later, and he steps on a stick, and the stick rolls and hits his leg, and he whooped and hollered like a little baby so loud. He thought a snake had gotten a hold of his leg. And, it scared me. And I was like, what? And he's like, oh, it's a stick. It was a stick.
Man, that's the way I am about spiders, man.
Yeah.
I do not like a spider. I can take a snake, not a spider.
See, now I can take a spider. I can do a spider. We used to have was it a garden spider? The great big ones that get the webs in the fall. We had one by our back door, and I tried to keep it, feed it and stuff because it was cool. But yeah, Brenda said like she's seen that too, after gully washers in Texas and stuff. Yeah, I don't like that, all that rain at once.
Yeah, I bet out there in Texas, man, you really get them out there.
Yeah, so yeah, snakes all over the road.
Yeah,
like that was even before like Snakes on the Plane was a movie, But
yeah.
But yeah, spiders don't bother me, except one time delivering mail. I went to open up. People had the long mailbox on the side of their house. I went to open it up, and I saw like a bunch of webs in there. I looked in there, and there was a black widow. So I just shut the lid and wrote on the mail, "Black Widow," and pointed it down and put it on top of the mailbox. So I didn't want them reaching in there either,
Sure.
So, but
sure.
yeah.
I was going to say something. I forgot what it was. Something about snakes. Oh no, it was about spiders, man. You talking about those big old garden spiders?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard me talk about going to West Tennessee when I was a kid in the outhouse? My grandparents still had an outhouse.
I don't think so.
Talk about those, man. It was a kid's nightmare to go in that outhouse. No, it don't matter if it was day or night. At night, you couldn't see anything, but during the day, man, you go in there. Have you ever used the outhouse?
Oh yeah.
I mean, they still had it, man. And
Yeah.
you go in there, and those big old red wasps are flying around, and you're sitting there trying to do your business, and you look up, and then there's those giant garden spiders that you're talking about. And man, it's terrifying as a kid.
Oh yeah.
You just don't, especially me coming from Nashville, I didn't know about all that.
Yeah. Yeah, those garden spiders don't bother me. The ones I don't like to look at, some fuzzy wolf spiders. Those things, things are gross. So,
well, there's some big spiders up here, man, because there's a lot of those wolf spiders like you're talking about. And they get pretty darn big, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they
And I've
do.
seen some. I don't know if it was a tarantula. There's a little creek up here, and we was down there getting some water, and I looked over, and out in the middle there was some rocks out in the middle, that was up out of the water,
Uh-huh.
and there was a huge spider sitting on one of those rocks. I told my son, I said, dude, let's get this water and get out of here. And so we got the water and everything and looked back over and it was gone. And I'm like, oh my God, is it coming after us? Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah. It's just, I tell this story sometimes that gross out my wife, but do you know what a silverfish is?
Yes, I sure do.
I one time had a silverfish in my ear.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and I was sleeping in bed one night, and I woke up because it was my right ear.
Oh my gosh.
It was
No.
hurting. It was hurting real bad, and so I stuck my finger in there and stuff, and then it felt like water was coming out. So I stuck my finger in there, but it was dry as a bone, and then the pain went away. And so that happened a few other times in the middle of the night.
Oh my gosh.
And I went to work. I was working for the Postal Service, but I was working as a supervisor, and it was kind of cold. It's always was cold in the post office. So I had a black, like leather jacket on, and all morning I'd get this real intense pain where I was just like tilting my head and stuff and things, and then it would feel like water was coming out of my ears, and every time I felt my ear was dry. And I remember I was walking to my desk and that happened again. So I'm like, what is in it? So I grabbed my earlobe and stretched it as far out as I could and went like this. And I saw something drop on my shoulder. And because I had that black coat on and running, and I looked and it was a little gray, silverfish.
Oh my gosh.
Running down my arm, and I squished him as fast as I could and never had a problem with that ear doing that again.
Horrible, dude.
I went home and of course, I was married at the time to my first wife, and I went home and did the right thing, called my mom and had her come down and put a bunch of ear cleaner junk, clean both my ears, squirt all kinds of junk in there and rinse them and, do a seance and everything else.
My word. But, dude, that makes me want to sleep with cotton balls in my
ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's that show, Raising Hope. That one girl always slept with pantyhose on her head because she was afraid of that stuff. But apparently they like.
Could you imagine that?
Yeah, apparently they like fruity smelling shampoo. So I quit using the fruity smelling shampoo stuff. So
that's terrible, man. Yeah, I've always thought about that. Like if you was out camping, sleeping on the ground. What if a beetle or something crawled in your ear? I couldn't take it. I would die.
Oh
man.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'd be one of those ice pick to the ear,
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't take it, dude.
Yeah. You always hear those gross stories about people that go to the tropics and get some kind of fly that lays eggs in them.
Oh, yeah.
I can't even talk about it. Can't even talk about it, but.
Yeah, let's change the subject.
Yeah, let's get back to cornbread.
How about you ever watch Young Sheldon?
No, I don't. I've never even seen I don't think I've ever seen a full episode of Big Bang.
Oh my gosh. Oh my word. Man, I love Big Bang. But so Young Sheldon, is just Sheldon when he was younger.
Uh-huh.
And Young Sheldon's been on, I don't know, a couple of years now, several years.
Uh-huh.
We've been watching that too, and they just had the season finale a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And it tied it in, and it had Sheldon on there. He was kind of, because I'm not going to tell you how it ended, Young Sheldon, but anyway, so it was interesting seeing Sheldon on there and on Young Sheldon's show, kind of talking about what was going on and that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I can't believe, dude, I came sometime on the porch, Halloween edition.
Yeah.
What? Oh, you talking
all
about
the bugs and snakes and horror stories we're talking about. Well, yeah. You have been listening to the Halloween podcast lately, so.
I have been, man. Brenda, I've been listening to Halloween podcast. I just found a new one today.
Yeah.
Started listening to. It was just about these two ladies talking about just hauntings and just kind of spooky stuff, true stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I like it.
So.
I kind of like this time of year because I really like, Christmas and Thanksgiving, but Halloween's the first holiday, And I know you're not a big fan of Halloween, but I am. And so I kind of start waiting for the stores to start putting Halloween stuff out,
Uh-huh.
And but I listen to podcasts. It's a new thing listening to Halloween podcasts this year. It's pretty cool ones where they're talking to creators and musicians. I don't know, just something different. I like it.
Yeah. I don't mind Halloween. I always just more comically dislike it. I always call it the last speed bump before Christmas.
You do call it that.
Yeah. So.
But I like it, man. When we lived in Nashville, for Halloween, dude, we had a big throwdown at our house. We always made a pot of chili and some kind of dessert, and people would come over and bring their kids. And because we lived in a great neighborhood, it was an old neighborhood built in the 40s and 50s, and people would come over, and our friends would go trick or treating, and then started decorating the yard, and it was so cool, man. Traffic would get backed up out in front of our house. People coming down to see it and everything. I had 4 fog machines, and I ran them through coolers so the fog would stay close to the ground and wouldn't just float up, float away. And several times over the years at night, I'd have to turn the fog machines off because it was getting dangerous because the fog would be out on the road. And, kids trying to trick or treat, and the cars, the lights wouldn't see through the fog. And I'm serious, dude. And it would float down to the houses behind us. But we did it up right. Made a big throne for my wife.
Yeah.
Who she was like the Santa Claus of Halloween. She'd pass out the candy and had the witch outfit. And she sat up on a throne, and there was smoke came up from underneath the throne, so it was billowing up around her.
Yep.
Purple lights. It was good.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, so it was kind of like my theatrical release for the year, putting all that stuff together.
Oh, yeah.
And it was fun. It was all for the kids.
Oh, yeah.
And me.
Yeah.
I'm just a big kid.
Yeah, speaking of podcasts, Holly's been binging Crime Junkies. So, but...
Crime Junkies.
Yeah, it's a podcast where they do true crime stories and stuff. But yeah, I listen to a lot of true crime stuff too, and me and Holly's to the point that it's like if we call someone and they don't answer, they've been murdered. So
yeah.
So,
man, I gotta say this about since we're talking about Halloween. Man, the ones that go all out are the Hispanics. Man, the Hispanic families would come by, and man, they would be decked out, mom and dad, and the kids. I mean, just totally decked out, man. And like they were professionally done up. Of course, not all of them did that, but most of them did. They had great costumes and did it as a family, and it was awesome, man, seeing them.
Yeah. Brenda says she wishes the holidays were spread over 6 months. They go way too fast. They do go way too fast for sure.
They do go too fast.
Now, I don't know if I'm completely off base, forgive me just because of my ignorance, but that Day of Remembrance that's real popular in Mexico and for Mexican heritage, is that close to Halloween? Is that?
I don't know. Is that called Day of the Dead?
Day of the Dead. It's kind of like it's called Day of the Dead, I think, but it's basically a day of remembrance, for your families and stuff. It's like what Coco was based off of, which is one of my favorite movies ever, because I cry like a baby every time I watch it. So,
see if anything comes up here. Yeah, man, it's Friday, November the 1st through Saturday, November 2nd. Yeah, so it's 2 days.
Yeah, so
that's what it is this year, 1st and 2nd.
Oh,
Brenda's saying day after Halloween.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah. So it's
Hey, Brenda, do you have a Halloween podcast? If you do, man, maybe I can have you on my show.
Yeah. I need to contact some Halloween people for being on the Christmas podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I need to do that. Brendan, I don't know if you know, but Todd has a Christmas podcast, and so do I. And we're kind of doing this in the off season.
yeah. This is our outlet to. Mm-hmm. We try to force ourselves not to talk about Christmas too much, you know, because when we first started, we're like, we're not going to talk Christmas at all, but it always.
So you're not into sugar skulls, okay?
Yeah. It always is like filters in. So.
Yeah, man, we're talking about the Hispanic families, how they get all dressed up for Halloween.
Yeah.
There's a store down here in Monterey. Remember Monterey? You came through right off the interstate. It has a big Hispanic community there, and they have this store. It's like a grocery store, Mexican grocery store. They have so much. They have everything from boots and hats in there to food. And it's so authentic, dude. I love it. We just ate there for the first time. We've been passing it ever since we've been coming up here. And we're like, one of these days we need to go try that. But you go inside, and they have maybe 8 booths in there in this grocery store. But you order, and they cook it outside in the trailer. They have a trailer out front. They cook it in and then bring it in. It was so good.
Oh, bet.
They have all that candied fruit, you know. That you ever seen that candied papayas?
Oh, yeah. She found us through Christmas Platter. So.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah. One tradition I am completely unhealthily jealous of is the Mexican families that make tamales at New Year's. I love tamales. Mm-hmm. And here in Southeast Missouri, my youngest, she's good friends with a girl in her class that's from a Mexican family. That's the only place I can get good tamales is when I can convince them to make me some, you know, which they did one time and they're excellent. But I can't go to a restaurant and get good tamales around here.
No.
And but those I see Jerry Davila and down in Dallas Fort Worth. I think I've seen his family make them. Holly's got some friends in California that make them for, just make a freezer full of them for. And it's like, I wish I could get my hands on some of them homemade tamales.
Right. Yeah. When I worked at Southwest, man, I worked with the guy Luis Vasquez. His mom made tamales all the time, and he would bring them in these big, like Home Depot plastic containers, full of tamales. Still in the I guess the corn husk. Yep. And then she made all kinds, but she even made these pineapple tamales. Have you ever heard of that? Pineapple tamales? Oh, they tasted, it was like a dessert tamale because they tasted like pineapple.
Oh, wow.
They were so good, man.
I bet.
They were so good.
That sounds good. Yeah, I think I've had, of course, the only tamales I ever had is like a traditional tamale with whatever pork or beef or whatever's in it. But I have heard of a cinnamon sugar tamale, and that sounds good to me. It's basically, I guess it's basically like a churro tamale.
Yeah.
So, but
so Brenda lives in Tamale Junction.
Yeah.
I bet you do. If you live
in Texas.
Yeah.
But well, just think of us next time you have a tamale.
Do you live in South Texas, Brenda?
Yeah, she lives in Texas where they don't use barbecue sauce. So
right, man, Texas. See, out there out in Texas, barbecue's beef, and here it's pork.
Right. In Missouri, it's beef and pork.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Holly's had cinnamon tamales.
Oh,
Holly used to live out there in Southern California where you buy the tacos from the guy that's cooking them out of the grocery cart. And they're excellent.
Yeah, the shopping, made his shopping cart grill.
Yes.
Yeah.
They were excellent. So,
yeah, I've always heard if you see a guy cooking food out of a shopping cart, you
got to stop. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Holly's friend Sonia out there, her family used to make the tamales a lot and things. So, yeah. So,
okay.
But, yeah, it's just, you know why out east it's pork like South Carolina and Tennessee, and then it's beef in Texas, but like Memphis St. Louis, Kansas City. It's pork and beef.
No.
It's from Trains. Because they raise pork out in the east, and they would ship the pork west, and then they'd raise cattle out west, and then ship them to the east,
Okay.
and then it
So
would meet. It would meet up in the middle,
Mhm.
Memphis, St. Louis, Kansas City. So we would get both, So
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, you're right, man. I didn't know that's why, but that makes perfectly good sense. I just always figured it's because in the South down here is traditionally we were more poor than other areas of the country. Way back when, and people could afford pigs and not cows. So but I don't know. I just think that's a good explanation of that.
yeah. At least that's what I saw it on a documentary somewhere on barbecue. That
But I started cooking all my ribs Texas style, man. Just 2 parts pepper, 1 part salt, and sometimes garlic powder on there. But most of the time, just salt and pepper, and just cooking them like that, and then having the sauce on the side.
Yep.
I don't sauce. If you want that.
I don't sauce my ribs at all. I just want my ribs dry.
Yeah. Well, I used to, Memphis style and like that, but not anymore. And I think Kansas City's what, sweet and hot. I know Memphis is sweet, but I like the dry ribs best of all.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't tell you exactly what I like for barbecue. I do like sweet, and I do like spicy. I do like the dry. I guess I like it all. I even like a good Carolina vinegar sauce. Not big on some of the mustard sauces. Some of them are good, but I'm kind of picky on those. That'd be better.
Yeah, I don't like those. I don't like mustard sauce at all, man.
Yeah.
How about the Alabama white sauce? You ever had that?
I don't think I have.
Oh my gosh, it is so good.
Yeah.
It is so good. It has apple cider vinegar in there, and mayonnaise and some spices. It's really good.
Well,
I mean, you can put that on anything.
My friend Paul, who I was talking about earlier in the woods, he lives down in he lives down there in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and he says they don't know how to barbecue down there. So,
really, why is that?
He just can't find a good barbecue joint. He's always got to drive back up here to find one. So,
well, Alabama's got some good. They got some good cooks down there. He just ain't looking in the right place.
Yeah, they're too worried about their football team, I guess, to worry about their barbecue. But we have one place. Got to take you to that Dexter Barbecue.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We have another place. It's called Strawberries. It's a little place. In fact, they got a dry rub that sells in the grocery store around here. I have to bring you. I need to bring you a bottle out when I come back out.
Okay.
And it's really good. And it's so if you're ever in my area and someone's like talking about cooking meat and stuff, and they say they put strawberries on it, that doesn't mean they put actual strawberries on it. That means they put strawberries seasoning from the Strawberries restaurant.
Okay.
And then we have another place called Chubby's, which is literally a hole in the wall. A hole in the wall.
That's the best places.
It is, and it's one of those places. If you get there and they're out, you just missed it. And it's really good too.
Yeah, that's the best places right there, man. I love that. And Brenda said she was born in Millington. So Brenda, all my family is from West Tennessee, north of Jackson, Dyersburg, Friendship, up in that area. Do you know where that is? I bet you do, if you know where Millington is. But that's where they're from. That's country out there, man, farmland.
Yep. That's close to my stomping grounds.
Yep. But man, I made some more. I made some ribs last week, and I tried some new beans.
Yeah.
They were so good. I loved them, man, because of the texture. Baked beans. They had lima beans, kidney beans, red beans, and just pork and beans.
And
then you made your own sauce with it was brown sugar, apple cider vinegar. I forget 2 or 3 other things. In there, molasses. Put molasses in there. sauteed your onions and threw them in there, and put all that together. You know, you let it cook down, and it has real intense flavor. And then you pour that over the beans that you in like a casserole dish, and you bake them like that. And man, it is so good because it's kind of weird because it still has the baked bean flavor because you made your own sauce, but it's not overwhelming. You know, it's not. But then you have the texture, all those different beans, big lima beans and stuff. They were just really, it's different, but it's really good. And I got that idea because there's a lady that moved here from up north from Michigan, and it's called Billy Bones. You see, Billy Bob Bones is the name of the barbecue joint, and they're opening a restaurant here, but they've been selling out of their trailer just until the restaurant gets opened. And that's the kind of beans that they had. And I'm like, my gosh, these are good. I never, I just always had baked beans. You know, the best I could do was the apple pie baked beans.
Right.
You know, that was kind of like my thing. And now you've taken that to another level on the cherry pie baked beans. You've outdone me on that. So I'm gonna try to outdo you on these. On this,
right.
I don't know what you call that, but I don't know what the name of them are. But it was different. I didn't know if that was a northern thing. And it's like, if it is, man, I'm gonna take it and kick it up a few notches.
Yeah.
So
that's not hard to do.
No,
with northern food.
Well, there's something that I've learned because she said that they won the best barbecue in northern Michigan for like 4 years in a row. But see up there, see what kind of wood did she use? I think it was cherry, but it didn't have as strong of a smoke flavor. Like here, when you get barbecue, is hickory smoked pit barbecue. And so you have the taste of the hickory, which is pretty strong. But their barbecue just didn't have as much of didn't have that kick as far as the hickory smoke and the pit barbecue flavor. It was good, but it was a little something. I guess it's what I was born and raised. Eat, what I was used to. It could have used a little something, and I think it was the type of wood.
Yeah.
The seasoning was good, but I just didn't have that authentic flavor exactly. I mean, it was good. I'll eat it, and I'll go there and eat. But when I get more comfortable with them, I'm going to say, "Hey, you ever think about using hickory?"
Yeah.
Here in Tennessee now.
Here a year and a half or so ago, when I was in Michigan, we ate it at I had to look it up. This place called Slow Bones Barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like award-winning barbecue, and everybody was like in town was raving about it. And me and my mom went. It was fine. It was like not blown. I mean, it was acceptable, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
that's the kind of the theme of our food experience while in Michigan. Everything was acceptable.
Yeah. Well, that's the way this was. This was more than acceptable. It was good. I got to give them that. It was good. It was different, but
it's like Mama. I told Mama, I was like, we could grab a tub of Crisco and a stick of butter and rule the world up here.
Your mom could, man. Your mom is awesome, dude. Your mom could for sure.
It's all it takes. But I want to thank everybody for joining us here on the porch. Been a blast hanging out with you guys again. Sorry we missed last week, but it was a busy week. Everybody had a busy weekend last weekend, and hopefully things are calming back down. Summer's starting to set in, so we'll be here. I don't think we'll be missing anytime soon, but now that I said that, it probably jinxed us, but that's okay too. But guys, just a reminder, send us a message on Instagram or Facebook. It's on the porch or on the porch pod. Send us an email at joinusontheporch@gmail.com, or if you're listening to us on your phone, open the description on your podcast app, and it says send us a text. You can tap that and just send us a message directly, and we'd love to hear from you and get your feedback on the podcast. And if there's any baked bean stories or bug stories you want to tell us, we'll share those too.
Yeah.
But it's been good. It's been good. So, Kid, take us home.
All right. I want to thank everybody for listening to Todd and Ken on the porch. and we're gone.